In today's episode, we speak with Christine Burke, who is an expert at helping people who hate to exercise keep fit. Sound familiar? Learn how she can help you or perhaps your parents stay healthy even if you hate going to the gym. By the way, the bicycle trip that I referenced in this interview was canceled, but Christine's lighthearted approach to fitness is still helping me with my goals. Learn how she can help you too in today's episode of Rock Your Retirement.
Talking with people about how to have a great retirement. This is the Rock Your Retirement Show. We don't talk about money, but we talk about almost everything else you need to rock your retirement. Now, here's your host, Kathy Klein.
Our guest today is Christine Burke. Christine Burke is a fitness trainer and coach at Carlsbad and North County, which is actually in North County, San Diego. As an unathletic child and overweight young adult, Christine understands firsthand the obstacles in losing weight, learning to exercise, and making the time for healthy habits. Her customized fitness programs are designed to find the fun in your journey for good health. You can learn more about Christine and her lighthearted approach to fitness at lightheartedfitness.com. So Christine, does that pretty much sum up what you do for a living?
That sums up what I do for a living.
Well, I have to say, and my listeners don't know this, but Christine is actually helping me, who I am very unathletic, get ready for a bicycle trip that I'm taking in Germany. And it's not really something that I would have come up on my own because like I said, I'm not really athletic. But my brother-in-law likes to bicycle, and he has talked to my sister and I, neither one of us are really that athletic, although she was more athletic in high school than I was. She was actually on the swim team. And he talked us into going on this trip to Germany bicycling, and so I asked Christine for help, and she has been doing an awesome job helping me, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So tell me a little bit about what your bio didn't say. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Just that I like different styles of training. I think some people think that I cater only to a particular kind of client, someone who's very active or used to be very athletic, or all the people who hate exercise. And I really actually just do enjoy training all different kinds of people, because I think all different kinds of people can find all different kinds of way to have fun while exercising.
Well, one of the things that I thought was pretty cool, and one of the reasons why I invited you on this show, is I went to an open house that you had a few months ago, and I met a couple of people there that I knew when I was a volunteer at SCORE.
Yes.
And I would say the average age of a SCORE volunteer is probably 75.
That sounds about right.
Well, that's here in San Diego. I don't want to speak for SCORE across the country, but so I thought that was pretty interesting that you actually help older people get into or stay into shape. So how do you do that?
So with when you're an older person trying to stay into shape, I actually get the older people that come to me in shape. There's two kinds. One is the doctor says, "Hey, you need to go do something about this." Or I get somebody who is kicking and screaming into retirement and old age, and they're quite motivated to stay healthy and independent for as long as they can. They're a little bit cross that they can't do the things that they used to do. So if I get a client who is trying to keep what they have, I think people would be surprised to see how long you can keep your mobility and your strength if you are diligent about, or if you just spend some effort in trying to keep those abilities. If someone's sent to me because the doctor says, hey, this person would like some help regaining some health, the thing that they should know is that it's usually not too late. We can usually get a little bit more comfortable and have a little bit more mobility. In some cases, you can actually reverse signs of aging, such as sarcopenia, that's muscle loss. And I think people would be surprised at how much exercise can help. With all of my clients, I do spend quite a bit of time just being functional. If they need to move around for their job, you want to do that. If you want to go travel, you want to be able to walk around a lot. If you want to go hiking in the Himalayas, which I had one client in his 70s do, you would.
Wow. Tell me about that.
Well, he's a great guy. He actually was in the Peace Corps in Nepal, and he still goes back there. He's built a great educational community out there, and he goes back, and oh my God, I don't think I'd want to do the treks that he does. So he's just, traipsing all around the Himalayas. And I think it's important that you don't need to exercise just for the sake of exercising. You want to exercise to be able to do the things you like doing. And for some people, it's just, keeping up with their grandkids. And for some people, it's, running a marathon. I'm really inspired by all the older people who are still running half marathons and marathons out there. So it's all very inspiring.
Well, I'm really inspired by that because I don't think you'd catch me running a marathon. Now that being said, after listening to Christine and also my doctor, because I got yelled at by my doctor a few months ago, I've been like many people. I got married in 2008, and it was my first marriage, and I was an older bride, let's just call it that. I'm 50 right now. For those of you that are listening to this podcast, podcasts live on forever, Christine,
yes.
So somebody could listen to this in 5 years. But I finally wound up getting a treadmill desk. I'm standing on it right now. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn it on so people can hear it. Now you'll hear the beeping. And then I'll let people listen to what it sounds like, because I use this now. I was having a hard time getting my steps in. I'm on it right now. I'm going 1.2 miles per hour. Christine, can you hear it?
I can hear. I can't hear the treadmill. I did notice that your voice cuts out a little, and I don't know if that's from just moving around and hitting the connector. But I applaud you for getting the treadmill desk.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it off because I don't want the electricity to interfere with our podcast. Yeah. But I just wanted to let our listeners know that there are ways, like my husband, he's in his 70s, and he is on the computer. I mean, you would
right.
think that he was still working full time. He's on the computer as often as I am, if not more. And I'm actually, before I bought this treadmill desk, on my butt 8 to 10 hours a day. Is that typical of your clients, or are most of your clients more active than me?
I would say, so most of my clients are actually in their 30s to 50s. So they are... but they are people who have their sights on retirement. They usually have a good job, and they got their retirement plan, and they usually actually have parents entering retirement already or elder care already, and they're like, wow, I would like to be stronger by the time I retire. I would really like to enjoy my retirement and be able to go out and do things. So most of my clients are all doing that. So they are still working, is what I was trying to get at. Most of them are stuck at their desk. I really like step counter devices like Fitbit and Jawbone, and you can get a free app on your phone to even count your steps. I really like that because you can see what a desk job does to you. One of my friends has a desk job, and she was looking at her Fitbit, and on the days she's stuck at her desk, it's like 2,000 steps for the whole day, and she knows she's in trouble when that happens. I do have a tip about using a treadmill desk or a standing desk, though.
Yeah, bring it on. Sure. I want to hear it because I have one. I'm using it.
All right. So when someone gives you the option to get a standing desk, the problem is not that you do not want to stay still for any length of time. So if you stand for those 8 hours at your desk, you will find that you'll run into other problems.
Back problems.
Right. Varicose veins is a big one. I don't think anyone has gotten varicose veins from standing desk, but I guarantee if you stand all day at your desk, you're going to find repetitive stress injury, just as if you were sitting at your desk. So the trick is to move around while you're working, is to switch position. So try sitting. In fact, most of it, realistically, you're going to be sitting at your desk. But then try standing some, and then do your treadmill some. So the important thing is to keep moving around and switching positions.
Well, thank you, because my husband made me keep my regular desk,
yes.
and that's what I do. This treadmill desk is only rated for 6 hours a day.
I see.
And so I'm not supposed to be on it for 10 hours a day, And I'm sure that if I was on it for 10 hours a day, I'd probably start feeling some pain. So, yes, thank you for that. Another thing my husband is doing is he's going to be raising the screen, because I told him it was fine, but he said, no, you're looking down and you're going to start having back problems. So he's going to raise the screen up for me.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
It'll improve your posture, so I appreciate that move.
Thank you. Thank you. So most of your clients are in their 40s and 50s, and you do take on clients that are in their 60s and 70s, and that's why I'm talking with you. I have to tell you, just today, I met with a man who is the same age as my husband, and my husband is very fit. He's probably fitter than I am, and this man, who I'm going to not name, is very unhealthy.
Oh, no.
Is very, very, very overweight, has diabetes, and I guess this is common among people with diabetes, but has some kind of mold growing on his legs.
Oh, no.
And I don't think his children know about this because they don't live here.
Oh, no.
And so I referred him to a home health specialist, and she's going to take a visit. But these are the type of things that working with someone like you can prevent. Getting into 71 or 72 is not old.
No, you could have 20, 30 years left, and that's a long time to be unhealthy. That's a long time to live suboptimally. And we do have, the problem of abundance in this country and the problem of leisure. So it's really easy to sit. It's really easy to have recreation that is very sedentary. And then you get the problem where moving sort of hurts, and you just get into a vicious cycle where moving hurts, so you're not going to move. But it means you never fix that hurt from moving. That is a really hard thing. I would suspect your friend is proud enough that he's not going to tell his children that he has mold growing on him from diabetes.
Well, I'm sure there's some kind of professional word for it.
Yeah.
In fact, when I called my friend who does home health, and I have many friends who do home health, so I spread the love around. I don't want people listening to this think I only call one person. I do spread the love this person happened to live about 10 minutes from where she does.
That's great.
So, and he was in a very rural area. So anyway, she said it's common. And so I thought, okay, well, if, that's why I'm not a home health aide.
Yeah.
I do assume that if somebody's in better fit, has been working with somebody like you, that isn't going to happen. Or, it wouldn't have happened if you would have started exercising 10 years ago.
You do see different things as a home health person versus being a personal trainer, because when as a personal trainer, if the health declines to a certain point, you're not going to be as involved in that person's life, unfortunately.
Right. They're not going to call
right.
you. They're going to call a physical therapist.
Right. But I think it's important to know that whatever your age, 40s and 50s is a great age because you actually can undo some of the damage if you have been neglecting your health. You have a good chance of doing some of that damage. But even in 60s and 70s, I have clients make great progress. I mean, going from not being able to walk or not being able to sit up in their chair from being, I have a great client right now that, when I first saw her, she was using a cane, I believe. She was coming off of an accident and she was able to, walk again. And it is an amazing, process. When you exercise, it changes your body. It triggers your body to produce hormones that you had when you were younger. So as you age, it gets harder and harder to produce certain hormones like testosterone and DHEA?
The youth hormones,
but these are
whatever
all
it is.
all the youth hormones, the things that say, hey, let's clean up these broken cells, these dead cells, and let's start rebuilding, actually rebuilding new cells. And what they're finding is even in retired populations, that those who are exercising are actually reversing degeneration that you see in aging.
So there's hope for me.
Yes, there. You're 50, Kathy. I mean, that's like.
I'm falling apart.
So, I mean, people are living so long these days. I know it does feel. I'm 46 myself, and I do feel it. It's just things do. We feel that. It feels like things are just kind of wearing out. But if you consider, you still have. Let's be optimistic, and we still have like 50 years ahead of us, Kathy.
Oh, we do.
You know?
The guy on TV who used to wish people happy birthday on their 100-year birthday, that he doesn't do it anymore because there's so many of them.
Too many, right, exactly. And it's so great. We have clients. I think our oldest client at where I train is in his 90s.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he's still coming in, and he's still moving around with his trainer. And the reality is, it's like, no, it's not the same as when you were 50. Of course it's not. But the point is, you just need to enjoy life to your fullest, wherever you are. That's something, that's, I think one of the most magical things exercise can do for you is if you are looking for that fountain of youth, exercise is literally that particular bullet. It fixes so many things. In fact, I can guarantee, money back guarantee, that blood pressure improves and your triglycerides improve. I can money back that. Yeah, if you work out with me twice a week, I don't have a single client who worked out with me twice a week that didn't improve their blood pressure and triglycerides. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah, most of them, this is not typical for everybody, but it's always a blessing when it happens. Most of them were able to reduce their medications and some of them were able to drop them. So that's, exercise is great for that. It improves all your markers it just really reduces your chances of mortality. All those things that the doctor is checking for you that says, oh, you might die soon, it really reduces those chances.
That's great. There's one thing that I want to say about Christine, and if she doesn't like what I'm going to say, then we're going to edit this out. But I love the fact that Christine is not a skinny mini size 0. And she is a fit, healthy-looking woman, not fat, but not a size 0.
I am not a size 0.
She is awesome. And that is one of the reasons why I love talking with her. And also, I don't think that my 70-year-old clients want to work out with a skinny mini size 0 either. So
in defense of the skinny mini size 0, your body is sort of the way it is, and I actually have friends and clients who have a lot of trouble gaining weight. They're always told, oh, it looks like you have a problem, and they don't get any love when they start complaining about it.
Yeah, we're like, oh, yeah, right. We feel bad for you. It's like, I have too many diamonds. I'm too rich.
That's right. No, really. It's your body. And there are things, it's not that you should give up hope and say, I'll never look like that. And you should feel hopeless about that. It's more like, you know what, this is my body, and I can make choices about how much effort I want to put into changing it, and I was a heavy child, and I was actually obese when I was in college. And I had that despair of being overweight and sort of failing at your health and not feeling really good about exercise. That's another thing I like to tell clients is, like, if you hate exercise, it usually comes from, when you do that exercise or you do that sport and you feel stupid about it. You just feel bad at the exercise. You feel foolish doing it.
Oh, I have to say, I have to interrupt you.
Yes.
Speaking of feeling foolish about doing something,
yes.
but something that I felt awesome about, is when Christine had her open house. She had a tightrope.
Yes, we had a slack line.
Or whatever they're called.
Yes.
It looked like a tightrope to me, but it was only about 4 feet off the ground. And I watched Christine do this tightrope, and I videotaped her, which sort of made her. I don't think she wanted me to videotape her doing it. And then yeah, it threw her up, but she didn't fall. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try that. And I did it.
Yes.
I did it. Yes. I did it. I couldn't believe it. And my husband, and I understood why Christine didn't want me videotaping her, because then my husband was videotaping me. And I'm like, get away from me. I don't want you to videotape me doing this, because it was really hard. But I did it. Yeah. And I did it partly because Christine is so encouraging. So that was super cool.
I think that is a cool thing. It's like when you focus on all the things you're not able to do. So I am not able to run a 4-minute mile or a 5-minute mile or a 6-minute mile or a 7-minute mile. I'm not able to do those things. And if I focused on that, I would like lose the joy of being able to do a 9-minute mile or a 10-minute mile. It's like, I think people focus too much on, well, I can't do that, so I'm just not a jock, and that's just not going to happen. Or, I try to exercise and I just feel stupid doing it. That causes anxiety for people, and it just becomes not fun that way. And then when you just focus on, well, let's see what we can do, and you find out, well, this is special that you can do it. This means you are capable of doing great things, and that's always a good thing. I was actually training some women. I think they were in their 50s or 60s, and we were training for a turkey trot, which is the 3-mile run you do on Thanksgiving morning.
Uh-huh.
And
before you eat 5,000 calories.
That's right. Right. So, anyway, so we were training, and they would run, and when they got tired, they would walk, and then we would run, and then we would walk. And then one day, they ran the whole 3 miles.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And oh my God, we were celebrating, and all I was thinking was, I want to be here on that day when you discovered something, that you can do something that you didn't think you can do. It's just such a huge thing for somebody, and just to be able to, share that is actually such an honor. It's like you get to do that. And I mean, I would, I could take credit for everything, but it's like, really, it's you. You beat the thing in your brain that said, I couldn't do it, and you're the one who put in the work. There's no way I can run that 3 miles for you. You had to do it. And it's such a good experience, and it's such a great, reward for, it's such a huge reward as part of my job, and I just love that.
Well, that's wonderful, because I know, and I don't know if I said this in your bio, but I know you used to be an engineer.
Yes, I was an engineer.
So how different is that, going from engineer to fitness trainer? I mean, it sounds
really different, and the biggest difference is I'm not up all night at my desk anymore, because I actually love working like that. I love, I'm sort of obsessive about solving problems. And with software engineering and coding, it's really easy to get into your work and then just keep going until you pass out of exhaustion. So that's not particularly healthy.
Well, I'm glad you got out of that. When my husband and I got married, he was still, or was he still working? Anyway, one of the deals that we made, because he's an engineer, and he was one of the, I don't know if you're old enough to remember Prodigy.
Yes, I do know Prodigy, yes.
So he was one of the executives at Prodigy.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and he does expert witness work. So anyway, whenever he has when I met him, he was doing what you did. He worked 68 hours a week. And I said, look, when we get married, you're retiring. And
good call.
so he retired, but he still, when he does expert witness, there was a time 2 years ago, he was working on some research, because when he does an expert witness thing, he does this research, and he was literally working for 24 hours with no sleep.
Yeah.
And I was threatening to divorce him. I'm like, and he's like, no, I need to get this out. They need it tomorrow. And I'm like, you need to get some sleep.
Yeah.
And that's what software engineers do.
That's how we just like working that way. It's like basically it just takes a little while to figure out the problem, and then once you figured out the problem, you need to get it into the computer before you, like I said, before you pass out or before you forget. So
So that probably makes you a good trainer, because you need to figure out what the person likes to do.
As it turns out, fitness has a lot of good problem solving in it. So there is the problem of what exercise produces what result. So there's that problem, and that's cool, because that's actually fairly easy to research, and there's a lot of research about it.
So that's like what gets rid of the jiggle in my wiggle?
Yeah. It's like, if I train this way or if I train this, like a lot of research it's really cool. It's like, can we do a shorter workout that gives you the same result? That's usually the biggest, that's usually important research that you want to do, because, time constraints are usually a big problem for everyone. And that relates into what I like reading about in particular is, not only is what exercises are the ones effective for the goals you want, or, it's more what kind of exercise program are you going to stick to? 'Cause, people ask me all the time, oh, can you tell me like the one exercise that will get rid of this? And then they pinch some part of their body, usually their belly or their butt, or and they go, what exercise should I do to get rid of this? And there's a couple of answers that I give for that. Like one is pushing away from the table.
That's the toughest exercise for me of all.
I know. The better answer, I think, is it's really like the exercise that you will actually do. For most adults who are less fit, walking is probably the best exercise, because you can do a lot of it safely, and it's also functional. The day you cannot walk, if you're training to walk, that means you can walk, and the day you can't walk is going to be a really bad day.
Right.
And then, but really it's like, seriously, whatever you can do, keep doing it. If you can lift something heavy, because when you can't lift something heavy anymore, that's not going to be a good day.
Wow.
But anyways, so lots and lots of problems, and we want to be able to form consistent, you can't, unfortunately with exercise, you can't like get all your exercise in one bike trip and then be good for 2 years, right?
Darn, because that's what I was hoping for with this Germany trip. I'm like, once I'm done with that, I can just get rid of this desk.
Yes.
And I can just sit on my butt again for 8 hours.
That's right.
So that's not going to work.
No, unfortunately, exercise doesn't work that way. And
Darn.
Yeah, I know, it's a little bit of a bummer, but it really does help different, it's cool though, because it helps different parts of your brain to work. So, as you can hear, when you're a software engineer, you do sort of work in spurt. And when I was in college and studying for tests, I was I would cram a lot. You do it because you can get away with it. I think that's one of the cooler habits I've picked up from exercising and training for, say, a marathon or a half marathon. You can't cram for a marathon. You can't just do all your training in one day. You actually have to plan it out.
Right. Or a bike trip for 7 days.
Yes. And it's a good lesson to learn because you can't be impatient. You have to be able to multitask with the rest of your life. And you learn to fit it in. And the thing is you get the reward at the end. It's like, wow, you accomplished something at the end. So I think it's a good process, for your life. It makes you feel good about how you're living it.
Well, this is great. Christine, I could talk to you all day.
Oh, I could talk to you all day too, Kathy.
I know. This is a 30-minute podcast, so we need to wrap it up. And so there's a couple of questions that I like to ask all of my guests that are what I consider a vendor. And a vendor is somebody that helps people live a good retirement, not a retiree. So one of those questions that I ask are, what do you think people should think about, or what should they know before they retire?
That you are going to live a long time. That you shouldn't plan on a life where you're just going to drop dead. You want to stay engaged. You want to stay social. You want to plan a good. You've got some time there, and you don't want to go into it with impairments and handicaps, and that can happen when you neglect your health.
So don't neglect your health. That would be
health. Yes.
Don't neglect it.
Yes.
Okay. And then another question that I ask is, we have a lot of listeners who are either new retirees or maybe they feel stuck in their lives at the moment. And if you were sitting across the table from a new retiree, what's the one piece of advice that you would give to that person in order to have a successful retirement?
Well, if we're both sitting, I would say we have to get up and start moving.
So don't sit as much.
Don't sit as much. There's a lot of fun things to do. Let's go do them.
So when you're watching Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones is good. You can watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, sitting?
You can sit a little,
Or Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
I'm really bummed that this is the last year of Downton Abbey.
I know. I'm watching it.
But still, your advice is don't sit as much.
Don't sit as much. Keep moving. And just, there's more to life than Downton Abbey. I love Downton Abbey, but it's part of my life. It's not the center of my life.
Okay. How can my guests contact you for more information?
Well, the easiest way is to text me 760-575-4277. That's 760-575-4277. Because of the way I work, texting is usually a little bit better. But if you're not happy with texting, or if you are not comfortable with it, you can call me at that number. Or you can email me. It's Christine@lightheartedfitness.com. Are you going to have show notes and things like that?
I am, but let's spell Christine because there's a million ways to spell it.
So Christine is CHRISTINE, and that's lightheartedfitness with no space.com.
Perfect. And your website is lightheartedfitness.com. That's lightheartedfitness.com. Thank you so much, Christine, for being a part of the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. This was a blast.
Thanks for listening to the Rock Your Retirement Show. If you are rocking your retirement or know someone who would make a great guest on our show, please send us an email at podcast@rockyourretirement.com.
Are you looking for a way to help your grandchildren with college that goes above and beyond financial support? Coach Myra's Pathway to College helps students create a customized college plan to help choose the college that is best for them. Coach Myra provides accountability and support throughout the process, which alleviates stress for the entire family. To give the gift of helping your grandchildren with their future, call 858-437-4500 or go to coachmira.com. Coach Myra's Pathway to College, helping students to see and be their future.
Are you a couple who is living in North County, San Diego, and would like to make more friends who are aged 50 and over? North County Young at Heart Meetup Group is looking for more members. The membership dues are only $10 a year, but if you host one meetup, your dues are waived. For more information, if you are in San Diego, just go to meetup.com, sign up for a free meetup membership, and then search for North County Young at Heart. Remember, if you host an event during your 3-month trial, your fees are waived.